Hello, and welcome to a Dream podcast. The second episode.
Name still in working. Name still in progress.
Name still in progress. Sorry it's taken us like a year to come out with a second episode.
Technical difficulties.
Kind of both forgot and got busy.
Our lives happened, and life is kind of a little more important than the silly unconscious movies. So we focused on our lives instead.
Yeah. So, who wants to start?
Well, you started last time. If you want to start again, I don't mind.
Yeah, I think you should go first this time.
Okay. Real quick, hold on. I'm currently in the middle of changing the podcast thing on YouTube. Hold on. Let me see.
Stand by.
Alright, now we can start proper. Who is? I'm starting?
Oh, yes, you are starting.
Okay, I gotta find a good dream, because there was a dream that I had not too long ago that I do remember, but that one was pretty stupid.
Yeah.
But honestly, all these dreams are kind of stupid. So, actually, that dream had you in it, to be honest.
Oh, wait, was this the one where you yelled at the man that was green?
The man that was green? What?
When you were yelling the F-bomb at him in your sleep and you accidentally started yelling it.
No, that was that zombie dream. I had that ages ago.
Okay.
No, there was a dream I had literally the other night. It was with you and who I'm gonna call Egg Salad. I'm pretty sure you know who it is.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah. So it was a part of that dream was we were in a church, we were in our church with really long hallways and stuff, and we went, all three of us. I'm pretty sure someone else was there, but all I remember was just the three of us, and we were going to this class that was the worst and worst class and had the two rudest teachers I've ever had the displeasure of dealing with.
Ah.
Okay. So basically what happened was that we got in, and you know how they have those tables, the teeny tiny chairs for kindergarten class. You remember church, you remember those chairs and stuff, right?
Yeah.
The school desks and those very specific blue chairs.
Yeah.
In the edit we could just show on screen what I'm talking about, so I'm not going insane over here trying to explain what the table and chairs look like.
Google Images.
Google Images is our best friend. And anyway. So, we walk in and we sit down, and they had this big ol' projector screen on one of the walls that was on the same wall as the door, and there was this specific hand signal that you were trying to draw, I remember.
Yeah.
Egg Salad was just kind of chilling. The person who was also with us was kind of chilling, and I was just noticing how rude these teachers were, because one, the second they suspected a kid was on their phone, they took the phone and... You good?
I don't know what just...
So, anytime they saw a kid that had their phone, they just threw it away. They literally just grabbed the phone, threw it away.
Oh.
So, I'm surprised they didn't take Egg Salad's phone, since she had her phone out, and it was pretty obvious, but I digress. And so, you were trying to draw the hand signals, and at one point, you had, this little yellow Lego brick that had some hair on it. It was kind of gross. And you called it your lucky Lego brick. And I was like...
Okay, why is that something I would do, though?
I know, exactly! That's why I'm thinking, but she would do that, wouldn't she? But anyway, so you had this brick, and the teachers, took it, threw it away, and was like, that's disgusting. Don't ever bring that into our class ever again. And you were kind of distraught. But then you just went back to drawing the hand signal, and Egg Salad offered to take a picture of us together, so I just remember leaning over to you, taking that picture together.
Yeah.
The other part of the dream, this is all the same dream, by the way, I'm not even kidding, but the next part of the dream was I was in this, mall. It was kind of imagine, a backrooms mall, but it was very bright, and it had a lot of people.
Oh, okay.
So,
what, the images I send you, which is happier.
Really, really big, white, bright mall with a lot of people. So I was being held hostage. Okay, so it gets weirder. It gets worse. Hear me out. Hear me out.
You broke the mall rules. How dare you shoplift from Hot Topic?
No. No, I'm innocent, please. No, okay, so basically I was being held hostage along with a lot of other people apparently in, believe it or not, the makeup section. Like there was this little, like, one of these stores off to the side that just had a ton of makeup.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of just like there. You want to know who was holding us all hostage?
Who?
My OC Snowstorm. The murder drone guy that could snap me in half if I even breathe wrong.
Yeah, your son, your lovely little son.
Technically, he's not mine. He's my cousin. I don't claim ownership of this child. No, technically, he's not mine. He's my cousin.
Your
lovely little nephew. Sure, we'll go with that. So, my nephew. No, but so he was the one that was holding us all hostage. And he had like this little office on the side of the shop. So I decided to do something that would distract him, like piss him off or whatever, just enough for us to all run away. So I planted something in his office, I don't know, a bomb or whatever. Whatever it was, it ticked him off enough that, like, as soon as he started yelling, everyone that was in that store ran, and I was one of them.
Right.
And that John Mulaney short, the one thing you can't replace, where he yells, "Scatter!" That's what I said. I yelled "scatter" to everyone.
Yeah.
I'm like, go, 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 now's our chance. I'm like a military sergeant directing traffic. I'm like, go, get out while you still can. I'm probably going to get caught because I have the dream armor, but still. And, out of everyone that Snow decides to chase, of course, he chooses me.
Yeah.
Just, to add insult to injury or whatever. So I'm running, and, obviously in dreams your legs are utter jelly and basically useless, so he catches me really quickly.
Yeah.
I remember running in to, like, actually, you know what? I'm not gonna say that part because privacy. But, like, so he catches me, and it kind of just morphed into I was at a water park.
Yeah.
And they had, like, a pool that had a tennis net on it. And I, like, apparently was a terrible swimmer. I still am. I can't swim very well because I don't get out often, to no one's surprise.
Yeah.
I kept getting swept by this current because I was wearing a life vest. I kept getting swept by this invisible current that was in the pool. It kept hitting me. Like, I kept getting hit by the net. And eventually they wanted me to just stop net, squishing me in between the wall of the pool and the net so I couldn't move. And then, like, now stay down. And I was like, well, heck. Okay, yeah. So that, you want to take turns? Because I've kind of said a little of mine. Why don't you share yours?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, you know how I sent you, or I had you watch the AJR Touchy Feely Fool music video?
Yeah, very interesting. I hate getting abducted by Eldritch hands.
Well, okay. Last night's stream was that. But, it was replaced with me. So I was running away. And I think Dr. Strange was there.
Okay.
And then, like, it was just, like, but also everything was, like, the sky was pink.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like a solid shade or like a sunset pink?
Just solid shade of pink.
Dang, that's kind of boring.
I know, right?
At least add a little pizzazz.
Pizzazz. Oh yeah, the entire sky is bubblegum pink. But yeah, that was last night's stream. I know, it's quite short. Hold on.
I'm pretty sure, like, the average dream is, like, a couple seconds long, but to us, I'm like, what are you talking about? They feel like an hour, if not longer. I feel trapped in my own head just thinking about it.
Yeah. It's like, I'm stuck here.
Actually, okay. I'm gonna look that up. How long is the average dream?
Okay, awesome. And now here's a dream that's actually longer.
A longer?
A longer one. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So
I have ears. I can listen.
Yeah. So, this one, I had this like about a month or two ago. And
all right.
Yeah, it was.
So we're just blowing off the dust on it now. We're brushing off the cobwebs.
Yeah. So it was basically kind of like, I think we're in New York City, and me and my entire youth group, and this girl, we're gonna call her Angeline.
Mm-hmm.
We call her Angeline. You know her.
Okay.
But we're in the building, right?
All right.
And my entire, my old church youth group, they're all there. And this guy, we're gonna call him B, and he's constantly telling me, he's like, no, we gotta go up higher in the building. I'm like, no, there's a freaking dragon outside. We gotta go lower. And like,
so a completely normal threat.
there's a dragon in New York City, okay? And he's flying around, and you just hear these, like, it had a school bus in its mouth, so you just hear these screams as it goes down. And I'm trying to, like, drag all these, like, idiots down the stairs along with Angeline. We're trying to get these guys downstairs. Like, I'm trying to get them in the basement.
Because, you know, that's the safest place to go when there's a dragon outside, which is a totally normal threat.
Yeah, but, like, the building was also tipping over at the same time.
Oh, great, we're in the Titanic, too.
So, and then we get to, like, this kind of middle level where, like, you know how in New York some of, like, the buildings are connected by this, like, glassed-in walkway? We get to this part, and there's a single mother and a little girl trying to run away. And I come in, I swoop the little girl up in my arms, and we're running down the stairs still. We get to this dead end, and the building's falling over again. And then the dragon rips off the top of the building. And he's, like, yelling, he's like, we need to go to the bathroom. So he pulls us all in the bathroom, in the men's bathroom. And I'm like, why are we here? He's like, because it's the safest place. I was like, no, it's not.
You dragged us to the men's bathroom. This is the least safest area of this building.
Like, have you not watched Jurassic Park?
No, clearly not.
I'm like, we need to get into the basement. We need to get on the ground. So hopefully we can get outside, get in a car and run. Or something. We need to go down. Like, the building's
So either you flush yourselves down the toilets, or you figure out how to get in the basement.
Yeah, and then, like, it gets to this part where we start, like, I'm on a concrete slab and it's falling, and, like, everything's falling in the air. And I had to do, like, this jump that you usually see in movies or video games. And I still have that little girl in my arms.
Dang.
I'm like, I was like, I have to save this little girl. Like, she was 3 years old. I'm not gonna let a 3-year-old die.
Nah.
But yeah, that was the end of the dream. Do you got another one?
I'm, like, looking through, because, you know, I write down, like, dreams that I tend to remember.
Yeah, I need to start doing that.
So, I'm trying to find a good one. I mostly don't remember dreams as a whole anymore, as much as I remember, like, bits and pieces of what happened.
Yeah, same. I need to start writing them down more.
Okay, let me see here. Oh, there's the dream-generated solver Bliss. I remember him. You can stay in my dreams, though.
We don't need to know.
We don't need to remember that. Okay, this one sentence from November 2nd says, all I really remember was watching a YouTube video of my cousin doing a Daniel Drawn style video about Hamstarson, which is my Murder Drones MC.
Yeah.
Which was really weird, because when I woke up, I was like, oh, that's not actually real. Dang, I kind of wanted to watch that.
We're like, that's actually, like, that actually sounds really cool.
Okay, let me see. I'm, like, trying to read through to see if these dreams are, like, anything important. Or, you know, not graphical. Okay, how about we'll do this one dream that apparently had an overarching story to it.
Okay, and then I'll have...
Alright.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. So, it basically, I'm gonna say right now, it was an absolute mess. This dream was all over the place, and somehow I remember it had an overarching story. So keep that in mind as we move forward. Thank you.
Okay.
So basically, my dad and someone else were, like, we were trying to get dirt on this company that was, like, the Earth Protection Force. And the which was funny because the guard's attire looked like N from Murder Drone, like his clothes. That's what the guard attire looked like.
So that's the first red flag.
Yeah, you're wearing robotic clothes and what's supposed to be the Earth Protection Force. Yeah, protect us from what? The robot clothes you stole? Anyways, I somehow end up in, like, the back of the building that was really open, and I saw this old guy that kind of looked like Patrick Stewart with the face shape of Dr. Doofenshmirtz. I'm not kidding. Don't try and picture that too much. It was horrific. Delete that from your brain instantly.
I just have Dr. Doofenshmirtz in my brain.
Well, good. Keep it like that. And so he was there. He was being interviewed by, like, these news people. I, like, duck behind him. I don't think anyone saw me, even though I was painfully obvious. But I quote-unquote, snuck past them because, like, to not be seen. Because, one, I didn't want anyone finding my location. And two, apparently, photobombing is rude to me. That is exactly what I wrote. So whatever that entails. And it says, like, I think I eventually came back later with my dad, who kind of just leaves me to die strapped in a chair with a saw coming from him. So thanks, Dad. Surrounded by, I think, the viruses from Dr. Mario. You know those little googly guys?
Yeah.
I don't remember how I escaped, but the last thing I remember, apparently, was this summer camp-esque thing that I was attending to, and oh man, I don't remember this part, and I was being attacked / run over by the Patrick Stewart guy from earlier, now I remember this part, now accompanied by 3 other guys. So, I come in, and I'm like flying a horse and buggy, but they shoot me down. And I used, like, the horse to protect me, and
Okay,
so I decided to play dead. Huh?
Okay, meat shield.
Meat. So, and I decided to play dead as they walked by me, and that somehow worked. I don't know how that worked, but it did. I think I remember one of the guys complaining that, oh, we didn't get any kills, and the Patrick Stewart guy was just like, shut up, we gotta go. There's too much of a scene here already. I very loosely remember that. So, take my words with a grain of salt, because I don't remember it very well. You know those moments that, like, you were aware that it happened, but you don't remember the specific details? That's kind of how it feels like.
Yeah.
Anyways, the very last thing I remember was somehow scoring a bedroom area with 5 sets of bunk beds scattered in the room. And I think with my dad and that other person from earlier, I was told that the guards were men. Alright, try again. The guards were men. They were of the male gender. So I need to cover my, cover my hair still. And my dad literally stapled a piece of loose leaf paper to my skin that had Mark or Mike written on it as, like, a name tag. So thanks, Dad. Coming in clutch. No one will suspect a thing when I have this haircut, this face, and have a piece of paper stapled to my skin. I kept telling my dad, like, I wasn't okay about doing this, because the last time we tried, I almost died, and he said it wasn't a big deal. Which is, for context, that is a definite dad response of mine. So.
It wasn't a big deal.
I don't know what this company was doing, or what it was on.
They were being sus.
There's a drain directly above it that is also really good to share, but I think you should go next. We will take turns.
Okay. This is another one where, like, I don't know if it was, like, AJR infused or not. So, just in context, guys, I've been listening to a lot of AJR lately. They are my favorite band. But yeah, so I'm in a it starts out, I'm in a living room, right? Egg Salad's sitting next to me. Me and her are drawing and making bracelets, all chill. And it's like this, like, old, like, family style. Like, we're all old, okay? We're all old for some reason.
We're all old people. We're fossils.
We're all old in this one scene. And I look over, and I'm gonna call him N. But he also, it's like, it's a weird mix of one of my best friends, M, and Jack Met from AJR. Like, it was weird. Like, looking back on that, I was like, was it him or him? Because, like, he had the hat, but he looks like my friend. But it was
maybe your friend was trying a different style. You can't funk the guy for trying.
I know, right? But it was just so weird. So I'm looking over at him, and for some reason, like, we're married.
Okay. Oh! I didn't know we were that kind of best friends.
Like, we're in our 80s. We're married, so we're just sitting there on the couch. I'm, like, hanging out with Egg Salad. He's next to me, and then it jumps back to reality. It goes back to, like, the past, and it's like World War III.
In our youth. Sorry, I had to. Back in my day, we used to.
Back in my day, all my guy friends were casted for World War III. This is great. And basically, I'm, like, in tears, and I'm freaking out, because, like, all my really close friends are almost all guys, except for you and Egg Salad, and a few others. Like, they're all guys, so, like, a good percentage of all my friends get casted for World War III, and I'm just, like, crying. And I find out on TV, I'm in Times Square. I don't know why I'm in Times Square, but we're in Times Square, right?
Yippee!
I look up on one of the screens, and I find out, like, there was, like, a recording from, like, I think it was, like, Russia, or, like, Germany, and I find out that they were all publicly executed on a recording, and I had to find out in Times Square, and then, like, I woke up, I was like, then how did me and N grow old together?
Yeah, if they, like, executed everyone, how?
Yeah.
No, you know what? Y'all got the plot armor.
Yeah, we got the plot armor, right?
I don't know if it's fortunately or unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, like, this that beginning part where it's like, because it was like the first part of the dream. Like, that was a separate dream from the second one. But, like, just the fact that he looked like Jack and kept, like, switching, and it was just really weird. Literally 2085 and we're old like crap.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yep.
Alright, so, is that it? Do you want me to go next?
You can go next.
Okie dokie. I don't know how many more I should keep sharing.
I've given all the ones I've had recently.
Alright, before we maybe, like, I don't know, think about wrapping this up, I'd like to clarify, the green man you had mentioned earlier, you remember that, right?
Yeah, I remember.
The green man, I didn't elaborate, so I said that was a dream I had ages ago. Basically, the loosest stuff I can remember about that dream was there was a zombie apocalypse outbreak, and this is back when I used to have a lot of zombie apocalypse dreams. So bear with me.
I just remember everyone was like, I remember you telling me everyone was like neon green and glowing, and this guy was like flirting with me, and you were pissed.
I was not okay. I was like, you are not about to get with my friend. I'm going to kill you now. Like, no, but I think there was some sort of weird infection, and this guy might have been the root cause for some of it. I think I had the plot armor because I either had the antidote or I could act in such a way that the zombies wouldn't attack me, which backfired horribly, I believe. But besides that, this guy was like just on crack, essentially. And he was like the root cause for the neon glowing ones. And yeah, he's trying to get with you, and I'm like, get out. And then eventually you and another person end up like unconscious on the floor while this guy is like Jim Carrey sneaking his way over. And I'm like, nah, get out. Leave the premises, or I will be forced to use dream logic upon thee. But okay, so there's your clarification from what little I remember. But I have dreams. I have dreams. Like I said, a lot of these are fragments and not actual full stuff, because ain't no way can I remember all that.
I remembered you wrote it down somewhere.
I don't think I ever wrote it down. I remembered it for the longest time.
You wrote it down on your old computer, I think.
You know, I might have. Actually, let me look. Because I had all my data from my old computer ported to my new one. I wonder if I still have it on that notepad.
Yeah.
Maybe. Oh my gosh, 2019. This is so old.
Oh, you're so naive.
I was also insanely stupid. Oh my, I remember this dream. This is a dream that I actually remember the entirety of. I think I'll save this dream in particular for later, because this one is long. But yeah, maybe the next one, like next month or so. I'll give you a hint. Pokemon and random dream-generated Pokemon. The last entry in this notepad was September 2nd, 2020.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think I ever wrote it down.
We didn't know each other then.
No, we didn't.
Was 5 months before I met you, I think.
The first entry in this notepad was a nightmare I had that I'm pretty sure I might have told you before.
Yeah, you probably told me in 2022 or something.
Yeah, because I still remember it. It is a kind of, I wouldn't say gruesome, well, maybe I would say that. It's kind of a nightmare that I had. Do you want me to give a summary, or do you want me to actually talk about it?
You could give me a summary.
Okay, so the summary basically is I was trapped on this square island with a bunch of my other Girl Scouts. This is when I was in a much younger unit, because now I am the older girls. But back then, I was part of the younger squads. But anyway, so the older girls were like chasing us down with electric chainsaws. Yeah, I know, that took a turn for the worse. They were chasing us down with electric chainsaws, trying to saw us in half, and I was running with this one other girl who I called Katie. That was not her actual name. I think it was just some of my brain made up. But eventually, like, they corner us. I kind of pull a not so great move and just ditch Katie, look behind me, and the older girls are looming over her and just start sawing her in half while she's standing there with Giddy. And then eventually they finish, turn to me. I'm now realizing the consequences of my actions. I turn around, and then they kill me.
Oh, lovely.
So, I basically just said the whole dream. The more in-depth explanation would just be weird story elements. I said square island. I was in, the middle of the ocean, and if you looked out, you could see all these other, perfectly square islands in the water.
Huh. So, not very well-made Minecraft islands.
No, not really. And here's a shorter snippet that's only a couple of words long. This is from August 7th. Pretty sure I was animating a fight scene between Kronos as Blizz fighting Star. Which I do loosely remember doing, and that's something I've been wanting to do for a while. So, should we wrap it up?
Yeah, I say yeah. Outro?
Outro. Do we have an outro?
Thank you guys.
Do we have an outro, people?
How did we do that? Okay. Thank you guys so much for listening to the second episode.
Thanks for tuning in to our weird, spooky, sometimes movies that go on in our heads while we're unconscious.
Yeah, hopefully we're going to be able to do this more often now.
Yeah.
It'll be fine once we have all the stuff together. But yeah.
But this will be fun, and this is kind of fulfilling a dream, no pun intended, a dream of ours that we had a while ago of making a podcast of all our whack dreams.
Yeah, back in 2021. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in.
Which I'm just realizing is 4 years ago. That's scary. But anyway, I will not drag out this outro.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.